Hola everyone. Hola Silvia. Welcome to today's live
Hello,
interview.
everybody.
My name is Tania Ramonde. I'm the social media manager at Follow the Camino, and with me is Silvia, one of our most popular and loved Camino tour guides. Silvia, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to wear my hat again and talk about my biggest passion, the Camino.
You
So,
know, we actually met a couple years ago when I tag along with one of your groups. They were working the Camino Portuguese from Oia to Santiago. And I can still remember the good vibes and the amazing energy that you brought to the Camino and how easy it was to spot you with your red hat. 100% remarkable. For those of you who don't know her, Silvia is a true adventurer who has followed every path she was interested in. Before this interview, I asked her to tell me a little bit about her career, and it was very difficult to make it into something short. So I don't know if you want to go through everything very quickly, but I'll just say she studied international relations, and she worked with indigenous community in South America. Then she got into tourism and became a director of a rock and roll hotel in Ibiza. But that didn't stop her to traveling to the Himalayas and Annapurnas. And then the spiritual part came, right? And you started to learn and practice yoga all over the world. And suddenly the Camino appeared, and that made you change everything and move to Galicia and settle here.
exactly. Oh, you good?
That's about it.
And you did
I,
it in much less
I did
words
my
than I
best.
normally do it.
That's just
But, you
a few
know,
highlights of your history.
yeah, but that's exactly, no, it's exactly how, as you said, much more precise than me. And I actually think all these paths led me to my real path, which is to be in the Camino. Because all my interests and passions have always been about being around people, helping people, learning from people, sharing experiences with people from all over the world. That's what led me to work in international development with the United Nations in indigenous communities. Or then when I was managing the hotel, I was also feeling my biggest job as a manager was to take care of the people, take care of the team, so they will take care of the guests. And then when the yoga came into my life and I became more interested, it was also in traveling. I lived in India, in Mexico, United States, and all of that led me, as a coincidence, as big things normally happen, they led me to
Mhm.
the Camino. And I was a mountain guide, so I was not very fond of the Camino before this happened.
Mhm.
And when I came and I walked it for 3 months, one winter, and I just fell in love with it. And I realized this was the path where I would always wanted to be. Stay on the move, helping, supporting people from all over the world, and doing something that I strongly believe in at a mental, physical, spiritual level. I think it is a big treasure that we have here. It's something very special and unique, the Camino.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And for some listeners and viewers that might not be familiar with the concept, could you give us your take on what the Camino de Santiago is all about?
Hmm. Well, it's about walking. It's as simple as walking. And then it's when we realize how amazing just walking, simple things is walking in nature with people from all over the world, people of all ages, different physical levels, different social status. You're going to find everybody doing the same thing as you. And just walking, I think it is the simplicity of it which makes it so special because everybody can do it. So we walk an average of about 25 kilometers every day to make it somewhere. Some people make it to Santiago. We do other experiences now, but the important thing it's along the path. It's not really the cathedral at the end. That's just the cherry on top of it, but it is the people. If you ask me the secret, what makes this pilgrimage so special? It is the people. It is so well
Mhm.
done that anybody can do it. Really, anybody can do it. You know,
Yeah, and I guess one of the amazing
age.
things about the Camino is that even if you walk solo, you're not alone. But of course, there's something special about having a tour guide by your side, like yourself.
Well, I
So
think
why?
what we provide is it's a fastest insight into the Camino. You know, because
Mhm.
me and the other guides that work in Follow the Camino, we are some of the older guides and still on the move. We're very old school in Follow the
You're
Camino.
experienced.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like I've been in the Camino for 8 years now. It's a pretty long life in the Camino. 6 with Follow the Camino, two before that, and so we know the people. We are a big family there now. So the people who come with us, first we take the fear and the insecurities out of the picture right away,
Mhm.
because that's one of the biggest things that we see is how the mind, play tricks to the people. The first day, people are scared, they're insecure, and we prove, and we're not lying. They can see it is real what we're saying, that anybody can do it. It's a matter of enjoying it, listening to your own body, doing it on your own way, knowing that the guide is there to support you when you need it. But we explain how to do things in a safe way and in the most enjoyable way right away. And then the guides also, we provide the welcoming into the Camino family, because we are a family there. The restaurants, the hotels, they see us year after year, and they take care of us, they take care of our people in our group. So I think the people who work with a guy who lives in Galicia and who's been living in the Camino have a better access to an insight that many people won't even, be sharing. Or sometimes we
Mhm.
also give them the peace of mind so they can relax and enjoy. And also we make sure they know what are the things to pay attention. Because if
Mhm.
not, some people, I can see some pilgrims, they just run. It seems like the mind makes them run and run. And if you don't let them know, hey, listen, there is a Celtic settlement here, just takes you 2 minutes. And this is a 3,000 years before Christ archaeological site. Or, stop here and have a chat with this person, or stop there and try the tortilla de patata. I don't know, little details that add
Mhm.
to the experience. Mhm.
Yeah, so it's not all about reaching one point or reaching the cathedral, but also about the path that one is walking.
Yeah,
Mhm.
seriously. Actually, reaching the cathedral is always a ambiguous experience. We are happy and we are sad at the same time, because
Mhm.
the moment we arrive to Santiago, it's like we're not pilgrims anymore. We have
Mhm.
finished, So I feel I have done a good job when the pilgrims tell me I don't want to arrive, because really, I
I
mean,
don't want
the
to.
cathedral is magnificent, but once you arrive there, it's not like your days are just about walking. That gives such a peace of mind when people know that their day is going to be only about walking. That's all they need to worry about. That's all they
Mhm.
need to think about, because I take care of everything else and they just need to walk. That's a very cleansing on a very cleansing experience for the mind. So arriving to Santiago is special. It's always a big party. It's always joyful,
Mhm.
but the path is, the thing that
And
is unique.
I'm sure you, as a guide, and the rest of the guys, do also have like a psychological support job when people are finding some challenges along the route, but also you are there to be witness of some memorable moments that stand out, funny moments, emotional moments, and intense in every single way. Are there any funny anecdotes or unexpected things that you would like to share, something that are close to your heart?
I mean, talking about fun, if I had to describe the Camino in one word, that would be, it is so much fun. And it's one of the funniest thing. The the pilgrimage to Santiago brings out the best out of people. I can tell you that. And I always remember when I was sleeping in albergues, the first thing in the morning was listening to somebody giggling already. The last thing at night was listening to somebody laughing as well. So, I mean, they will ask us to be out of the albergue at 8 in the morning. It's raining outside. It's dark in the winter. And we're laughing. And it makes no sense. It's like we're in misery, but we laugh at our misery. So actually, the more extreme, yeah. I mean, because it is a little bit of a struggle, we lose the comfort in the Camino. And I think that's one of the best parts of it. The more uncomfortable it is, the more we laugh. Either because of the rain or the cold, the wind, or when it is really extremely hot in the summer, because we kind of go with
Mhm.
both sides. And in the summer, I had to ask my pilgrims if they wanted me to host them down. That's just one of the funny anecdotes I can remember. It's just like it was so hot. And I asked one of the restaurants along the Camino who were friends of mine. He was watering the plants. I was like, can I borrow your host? I'm going to host the pilgrims. So it kind of ended up being like a wet t-shirt contest in the Camino.
It's
Oh, but
a
you
different
see,
way to
people
walk the
always,
Camino.
oh my God, but people get in the madness, like the Camino brings the childish, the crazy, the feeling free, or when it rains, we have had, some pretty bad rainy days lately as well. And I just remember seeing my pilgrims at some point taking their boots off because it was so muddy already. But they were just laughing, walking with their boots barefoot along the mud, along the Camino on the mud. And I just love to see how people get rid of their fears and their
Mhm.
limitations
So
and everything, and
how
they
does-
get
sorry, go ahead.
no, I say, and they get in the joy of it, because what the Camino teaches us is that losing the comfort actually makes us very happy.
So
you
I
know?
was saving this for the more or less the end of the interview, but I have it ready, and it's one of the. I think it was the last tour that you guided last season, and it illustrates perfectly what you're talking about, like the rain and how people can enjoy the hardest moments of their
Oh yeah,
experience. So I want to share it with you so that we can watch it together.
yeah. Let's see.
Oops.
I love it. Look at that. We were the only ones in the square.
And you had your red hat and you were having fun
That
and
was,
people were having a blast.
oh my God. But yeah, and you know what? I'm still in touch with the people in that group. I stay in touch with all my groups, and they still remember that day. And we still laugh about it. How much fun we had arriving to Santiago. We were wet. I mean, beyond the physical, we were wet in
Must
the
have
soul.
felt.
And we just had so much fun. And I mean, I love it. I love when people get into this safe adventure kind of mood. It's like even with a guide, things are going to happen because this is an outside experience with a lot of people. And, I mean, things will happen. But as I always tell my pilgrims, things are going to happen. Oh, believe me, you're going to have your adventure, but we're
Hmm.
going to solve it. We're going to fix it. We're going to have a safe adventure. And by the second day, people are already up for it.
Hmm.
People are already in the mood. But I do think the group and a group with a guide helps to get quickly in what the Camino is about. Because the Camino is mostly about enjoying it. I mean, I think we're supposed to do it enjoying it, having fun about it, laughing at, and I
Hmm.
think that's why it's the only way of doing it. I think if you take it very seriously, oh my God, it's going to crush you.
And is there like a mix in a group that when you see the people that are there, you realize it's going to be a great group? What are the vibes like?
But to be honest, and I know this is going to sound, like I'm just saying it, but I would say 99% of the people who come to walk the Camino are just amazing. I have walked in tourism in Spain before. The pilgrim is a special person. You know, I mean, the people who come from Australia, New Zealand, United States, or even Ireland or England, I mean, who take a plane to come all the way to Galicia to walk, they're very special. And I do, I mean, I have to say, and all honesty, I have found the funniest people, the most amazing people to work with in the Camino. I mean, pilgrims hardly complain. We just, they're just here and they enjoy it, and that's very rare. I mean, in the tourism sector, where I
Mhm.
worked before, it's like people complain more. And here, people are struggling. People are walking in the sun, under the rain, and very quickly they become friends. And what is amazing is that I'm still in touch with people that I walked with 8 years ago, and they still say they have the sweetest memories about the Camino, and they still meet. Some people come back from America and they meet other pilgrims here in Europe, and they gather together. So the experience of doing something together, of
Mhm.
struggling a little bit and like pushing through it together, creates a very special bondage and generosity and just the willingness to enjoy, and not, it's just like putting the group even before ourselves, so
Mhm.
like people just are out there to make the experience be fun and enjoyable for everybody very quickly. So definitely the pilgrim is a special animal. Special kind of animal. It's not a tourist.
No, it's a different kind of tourist anyway.
uh,
Now, Silvia, we cannot talk about the Camino without talking about food, at least a little bit. So, I guess it's one of the reasons a lot of people travel to Spain, and even if, as a walker, they are thrilled for the food. And as you know, as a way to reduce the carbon footprint of our trips, now we encourage our clients to have a vegetarian meal during their guided tours. What are your thoughts on this initiative? Have you seen any difference from the approach that we have now for what you were doing before?
Well, I have to say one of the things that I love most about working in Follow the Camino, it's our approach, to the our environmental footprint that we're given, because, I think I do definitely appreciate working with people who are conscious about this. And
Mhm.
the food in Galicia is so fresh. We have such a generous nature in Galicia that, I mean, I think if you don't feel that need to take care of nature and the planet when you're walking outside, is that we have lost sensibility, really, But I think
Mhm.
that when you are in the Camino, when you're walking outside and see how much nature gives us, I think many people become conscious about the need, the urge, the willingness, the longing of taking care of nature. So what that we're doing this, for me, it's something that really motivates me. And even though in Galicia vegetarianism is not a strong thing yet, I
Mhm.
think we're bringing that into the Camino. Because 8 years ago, the first times I used to go some to the restaurants or to the hotels and say, we have a vegan or we have a vegetarian. Oh, they will still give me chicken. I said, well, it's not meat, it's chicken for the vegetarians. So I think we're doing an education also as well. You
Mhm.
know, when we also explain why we're doing the vegetarian dinner once a week with our groups, I have to say 100% of the groups, at least of the groups that I have been with, they wanted to do it. And the vegetables are so amazing in Galicia. I mean,
Mhm.
the land in Galicia is gifted. So I think we're also opening to a lot of people, to realize how tasteful, how delicious, how nourishing the vegetarian food can be. And I feel very honored to be doing that, and that Follow the Camino is doing this, really. And because I also know that, the management of the company is really enforcing this because it's
Mhm.
value that is strongly believed in follow the Camino, that we need to walk with that in mind. So I feel really good about that. Mm.
That's amazing. I totally agree with what you just said. As a Galician
Yeah,
myself,
right.
but as a person of the world as well. So we're almost reaching the end of our interview, and I want to know if you have any final thoughts that you'd like to share with our viewers, or if there's a question that I didn't ask, but you felt like answering.
um, well, to be honest, there is only one last thought that I wanted to give to anybody who is out there having doubts about should I do it, should I not, am I ready, am I not? Please do. Please do come and walk because I know many people want to walk it, and they have doubts if they can do it. And I can guarantee we walk, especially in Follow the Camino, and that's also something that I feel very honored about. We walk with the charity groups, right? People who are raising money. So we walk the Camino with groups that are raising money for any cause.
Mhm,
So I have walked the Camino with people with illnesses, with disabilities, which is actually, and we always walk with a purpose, everybody with their own purpose. But when we do it with this common purpose, not only I have realized that anybody can do it, I have walked it with people in wheelchairs, people who could not see. So the Camino is ready to host anybody for the reason that it is, even if it's just to have fun, which is a very spiritual reason.
mhm,
We all need to have some more fun in our lives. It's too serious out there. So I feel like this is it's just like Alice in Wonderland. You jump into the rabbit hole, you get in another world, which is the Camino, in where everybody's going to be generous, everybody's going to be helpful. We see values in the Camino that I think we're losing everywhere else, it seems, sadly. But in the Camino, those values of it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to be doing the same. And mostly sleeping in the same kind of establishments because there is no luxury in the Camino. So we're all in the same and doing it kind of the same way, and that's a very beautiful human experience. So I feel we're very, very lucky to have this here in Spain. Every
mhm,
time I go somewhere, I just came back from walking in Japan, now another pilgrimage, and in Japan, the people know about the Camino de Santiago. The Japanese people were talking about the Camino de Santiago, or in India, or in places that I realize how strong this is and how universal,
mhm.
how far reaching it is, because it reaches and it touches people of all religions, all nationalities, all races, and that's a very special thing to do. And that's my last thing. Don't let me talk anymore, Tanya.
Well, thank you so much, Silvia, for your time and for your words. It's always amazing to listen to you. You have going on, you can talk about stories on the Camino, I assume, for the rest of your life. And you always
Oh,
remind us
definitely.
that the Camino is not a physical trek, it's also a profound spiritual and communal experience. So, if anyone in
Yeah.
the audience, anyone that is listening or viewing this interview, wants to make the Camino their experience, send us a DM. We are on social media on all the channels, on the popular channels, or send an email to info@followthecamino.com, and we'll be happy to make sure the Camino lives up to your expectations as well. So see you around, Silvia. Enjoy the rest of your Holy Week. And
You too.
thank you
It's
so
been a
much again
pleasure.
for your time. And thank you all for
Thank
joining
you
us.
so much. It's been a pleasure. Bye, my
Bye.
friend. Bye, pilgrims.